I literally feel like I'm in another world. But the past few days have been pretty bad. I've been, because my car's in the shop right at the moment, and
Okay.
so I've been kind of relying on like Uber and not Uber, sorry, DoorDash, and just delivering like certain things like power cords or you know dinner, like I try to find the most cheapest price possible on which app. So like Panda, I can get like a two choice plate for like $11, and then you pay like $2.99 for the delivery, right? So $13 meal, not too bad.
Into
um
your steak diet.
oh no, well, that's part of my diet. It's part of my diet too, because I just get super greens, and then I get teriyaki chicken. So I keep it pretty
Isn't teriyaki
simple.
chicken have a lot of sugar?
Not if you don't get the sauce. So
Oh,
you can have the sauce on the side if you want to. So it makes it a little bit healthier, I think, all in all. But that was kind of part of my diet when I lost like 30, 40 pounds. I would just get a lot of like super greens, and then I would get teriyaki chicken sauce on the side. And
mm-hmm.
yeah, I lost a lot of weight.
That's good.
So I'm kind of trying to maintain that specific regimen or the regime. Like I feel like I have a lot of go-to foods that if I wanted to lose weight, it'd be relatively easy. Like Starbucks, you have the egg bites if you don't want to make them yourself, which is still a
Right,
pain in the
right.
butt. And then of course you can just get black coffee, right? I'm satisfied with that, satiated with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then lunch I can just eat, like sashimi. So I just eat regular salmon sashimi, and it's like, oh, that has no carbs.
You
Easy,
eat
right?
sashimi for lunch?
Sometimes it depends on where it's from. I like to go to Ahi and Vegetable, or this place that
Oh,
kind of looks like Ahi and Vegetable. They
yeah, I
have
love
kind of
ahi
like
and vegetable.
yeah, they have this. I think it's a B plate that's 14.50,
Okay.
and it just has salmon and salad. That's all you get.
Salmon and salad. And then what do you do
Yeah,
about rice? Do you not eat rice?
I don't. Well, if I'm gonna be doing this like heavy duty weight loss,
Mm-hmm.
like looking at 2 pounds per week while exercising, I usually try to only have like no carbs, maybe 20 grams of carbs at most, if possible.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah,
so
I think.
you're on a you're in a low carb type of diet then.
Yeah, it's kind of like not Atkins. I guess it's similar to. I did Atkins before when I was like 21. I'd done the Atkins diet, and then I
Oh yeah,
had
that's
no
right. There's the
no
Atkins
carbs.
diet. I
Yeah,
forgot
and I
that was
used
the
to
thing.
eat so much meat. Yeah, back in the days. And then now I do kind of like a combination of intermittent fasting and this like almost like keto diet. So it's like a keto diet with intermittent fasting that kind of helps. They say a lot of times 75% of weight loss is food and what you consume and your calorie
Mm-hmm.
intake. And then of course 25% is exercise. So I have to keep that in my head, because every time I exercise I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna lose a lot of weight, and then weeks go by and I still feel fat. Oh, maybe it's just feeling fat. I can't even tell. Some people
Maybe
have
it's just
said a lot.
water weight,
Well, I don't drink water.
but your
It's
body's made
coffee
out of
weight.
water.
I know, but maybe it's
Yeah.
just coffee weight.
I mean, coffee has water.
That's what I'm saying. Coffee weight.
Okay, coffee weight. Yeah. So I mean, it could just be it could just be water weight.
Yeah. So, to make a short story long, what happened is last night I had gone down. Oh no, I didn't go down. Right. So I had used the Panda app, which I really love. The Panda app is really cool. You can play games. It's like a match game, and when you up your match up these cards, like the thing is like stage one has 4 cards, stage two
Mm-hmm.
has 6 cards, and stage three has 8 cards that you got to match up, and you only can get a few wrong. I think, I don't know. I didn't get any wrong, so I was actually perfect. So I had actually a perfect matching, and they gave me $8 for like a regular plate. 2 choices, and you can half the size if you want to. So I usually get half chow mein, half Um,
Fried
so
rice.
actually, so last night, no, I get half chow mein and half super greens, right?
Oh,
Just to kind of still get some carbs in there. And then I get, orange chicken, which is probably really bad. And then I get the teriyaki chicken. So that was kind of the meal for yesterday. And then I get the lemonade, the lemonade is the bomb. I love the lemonade so
which
much, but
probably also isn't really good.
that has a lot of sugar, definitely. So watermelon lemonade,
I think that's worse than anything you can order on the a la carte menu.
right? Possibly. I mean,
Yeah.
I also had two apple rolls. Have you
What's
ever
an
tried
apple
those
roll?
apple rolls?
What's an
Oh, the
apple
apple
roll?
rolls are like the best desserts ever. Like
Is that
you
like
get two rolls.
a apple pie thing?
It's kind of like lumpia, or they also call it shumai. What is another name for lumpia? I guess Filipinos call it lumpia. It's like a
Lumpia?
fried roll, like lumpia roll.
Yeah, Filipinos call it lumpia. I know what
Yeah, but what do
lumpia is.
Americans call it? What do Chinese call it?
Um, lumpia.
Spring roll. Sorry,
Spring rolls are not
like
the
a
same
spring roll.
though. They're not
What makes them different?
lumpia. What's in a lumpia?
And
Let's
it doesn't
see.
matter what's inside. It's just like a fried wrap.
Yes. Well, I guess they are similar. I guess they are spring rolls. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know what the Chinese call it though.
yeah. I don't know what the Chinese call it either, but I know that you guys have them. You
I
Chinese people,
mean, everyone has it. Every Asian culture has it. The
not
Vietnamese
necessarily every.
have
Well,
it. I mean,
Vietnamese have the
they have
spring
spring
rolls,
rolls. Yeah.
right? And then
Or
lumpia for Filipinos,
yeah.
and then whatever the other two come from. So that was kind of what. So the apple roll is like a lumpia, but it has apple inside, and it's covered in cinnamon and sugar. It's the
That's
best thing
also
ever.
not good.
Yeah, so it's not healthy, but that was my order for yesterday. So my total order, was that. And so I guess I must be kind of losing it. I feel like slightly, maybe I'm just too busy or something's going on, because I feel slightly that I'm slipping a little bit.
Maybe
So
it's the
yesterday,
lumpia
no, haven't even eaten. I mean, and so this is
and the
then kind of
lemonade.
no, no, I didn't even get the food yet. Okay, I didn't even get the food yet. So I order the food and then I'm playing League and I'm just waiting. I'm like, okay, well, the food should get here any second. And I think I try to do the newsletter for time. So I'm the Super Tuesday newsletter. So I'm putting it together and I'm ready to send it, following up Tad, talk to him on the phone. I'm like, okay, the food should be here pretty soon. And then I get a text message from Panda. And Panda's like, your food is ready for pickup. Get it while it's hot. And I'm like, what does that mean? And I was like, gosh dang it. It's like, I think that I put pickup instead of delivery.
Because it's cheaper.
Yeah, so it was so cheap. I should have known. It was so cheap.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I I don't have my car, so do I walk 30 minutes to the Panda to pick it up or do I put another order in? So I actually put in a second order and this one's more expensive. And then I'm like looking at the order. I'm like, okay, this has to be right because it's $20 now. It's $20 for the order, and I order the same thing. I order a big plate, two choices. Orange chicken, teriyaki chicken, chow mein noodles, super greens, two apple rolls, and then the lemonade. Right, and then I wait for my food again, and it says, "Oh, your order is ready for pickup." I'm like, God dang, I did it again. And so I have two orders at this Panda Express. And I'm just like, okay. I was like, I cannot make this mistake again. And I realized why I was making the mistake is the way that the app is set up. The way the app is set up is where it asks you where you're getting your food from when you choose delivery. So you have to choose pickup or delivery. But what's weird is that when you select delivery, it chooses your address on record, right? But that's not seen anywhere in the app. Like when you're at checkout and everything else, like you have no idea where your food's going. So I was like, okay, I said I gotta double make sure that I'm gonna get my food because I'm hungry AF, and I just want to eat some food. and it's like I have 2 plates waiting for me at the Panda in Milani.
You know, the
So
amount of
okay,
time that you were doing all this and all the effort, you could have
probably
just
could have walked.
walked. Yeah.
Yes, I could have walked. So I mean, so this is kind of like the struggles of not having a vehicle, and like you have to rely on yourself to forage for food and all this stuff. So finally, I do a third order, and I triple, quadruple check. I'm like, okay, order from Nalani Town Center. Okay, I still can't find the address, so I go into the profile. I'm like, okay, what is the address on record? So this is the address on record. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get that, and then I put in the order, right?
Okay.
And obviously, I haven't canceled these other 2 orders, and I don't know if they would have refunded or they would have given me back my order. So I call the store and I say, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I'm the guy who ordered the same thing 3 times, and the food is gonna." I said, "Someone's gonna pick up the food, and it's through DoorDash, and if he can pick up the other 3, right?" So I'm like, okay, yeah, pick up the other 3. And she's like, I guess they were really busy because she was not happy. She just was like, I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if I can approve this. And I was like, lady, I was like, just give me my food.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, the I'm sure she's thinking, oh, she has no way of
of identifying me.
identifying. Yeah.
Right. Well, I told her, I said, okay, my DoorDasher is going to be coming up. Like, if you can just work with him to give him the 3, bags of food, I will take it all. I was like, and she said, well, you're going to have to call the Dasher. So I end up calling the Dasher, and he doesn't answer, and he has this like Indian voice. And I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. But he has like a real like local name, like his name is Levi actually, and so this branches off into a whole nother story
What
where,
is what is the local name to you? Levi isn't
well, I
local.
mean, yeah, Levi's not a local name, but I just felt in my heart and my gut that he was from Hawaii.
With
Like
a
from
what? And you said he had an accent that sounded Indian.
Yeah, well, so I call, I because I saw him on the map that he was heading on over to the restaurant. I was like, okay, I need to catch him before he goes to the restaurant, at least, so that I can get my three bags of food. So finally, after the third call, he answered like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And I was like, "Hey, like my name's Quincy. I'm your DoorDasher customer, and I need a really huge favor." He's like, "Oh yeah, whatever you want, like, just ask me." And he's this super like energetic, like eccentric, chill dude. And then, we start talking and he's like, yeah, I like to do accents and voices. And I was like, oh man, you'd
What
be
the
good at a podcast.
heck? He
Yeah.
likes to do
No, well,
accents.
and so he said because it was Hollywood, right? He's like, oh, I'm connected to a lot of people in Hollywood. And this goes into like a crazier, deeper story. It's like the time I found out that the Korean lady who was taking care of the house had her husband underneath the house of Parasite. Like that's what it felt like. I was like, oh, halfway through that. Have you watched Parasite?
Yeah, I watched Parasite.
Yeah, like halfway through the movie, you're like, this lady's down in the basement pushing this wall, and then all of a sudden you find that her husband's been living there right the whole time. And that's
Okay.
what this story actually is going to turn into. It's going to turn into that. It's pretty wild. And then we'll go into your story. I think listeners need to know that we're going to try to do this two focused format where we talk about one thing, and then of course we'll talk about another thing. Let's see how interesting Jeremy's life is. But
My life is not interesting at all.
yeah, well, at least you're reading something interesting. You can talk to us about that. And the good thing is, I kind of like stuff like that, like the book that you're reading right now. So I guess that could be a prelude to what's to come. What's to come. Anyway, so I call the guy, super eccentric, super personable. I'm like, man, you could be on a podcast. I have a podcast. And like, doesn't everyone have a podcast?
Yeah,
But
doesn't everybody have a podcast at this point?
yeah, that's what he was saying. And then
Yeah.
so he told me, he's like, oh man, me and my buddy were thinking about doing a podcast. And, I don't know if he's okay me telling like this entire story.
Well, it's too late
Um,
now.
well, no, there's more to the story. Like it's deep.